Science Academy, the science provider of the nation.
We studied four equations. The first one is v is equal to u plus 80. And second one is equal to v squared is equal, second one is s is equal to v plus u divided by 2 into time taken. And third one is v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. And the fourth one is equal to ut plus half at square. So if you consider these four equations, the first equation, the s miss, the s is not there, the displacement is not there, is absent. The second equation, the acceleration is not there. Check, there is no acceleration. S is equal to v plus u by 2 into t, right? And the third equation, there is no time. They didn't mention about time in the third one. And the fourth equation, there is no final velocity. They didn't bother about final velocity. Right. So we are going to do the question based on these four equations. Right? So these are the four equations what we are going to study. Let's say the first equation. So whenever they give you a question, what you should do is, first identify the data what they have given to you. And then out of that, check which data is neglected. I mean, they didn't ask you as the answer or they didn't mention anything about it. And match the equation and go for the answers. Let's try how to do it. So please try to understand. No hurry. There's a fruit on a tree which is height 20 meter, and all of a sudden the fruit detaches. Whenever it detaches, immediately it starts to fall down. It's fall. So when it fall, the initial velocity will be zero. They ask you what is the final velocity. The v, it will stuck here. Whenever it's stuck to the earth, sometimes it might get damage or something. However, they ask you the final velocity. So I think so. Same question like this, it is there in your textbook. In the last exercise, there is a same question like this. So here what's happening is, this fruit is attached to a branch and it detaches and it falls down. So here the question. They ask you what is the final velocity. Now you know that this entire phenomenon is happening under the gravity. It's happening under gravity. So what is the value of gravity? The gravity it is 10 meter per second minus 2. It is 10 meter second minus 2. So whenever you do a question, please try to mark the direction. It is much more important here. So first, in this case, identify the data what they have given. What are data they have given? They have given you the initial velocity. What is the initial velocity? It is 0 meter second minus 1. Let's consider our direction is down. So here, you 0 meter second minus 1, and what else? They have given you the acceleration as well. So what is the acceleration? Acceleration is 10 meter per second minus 2. And they have asked you the final velocity. And what else the data present? They have given the displacement as well. So the displacement is 20 meter. So is it positive or negative? It is positive. Why? We are considering downward as positive. The displacement is downward. Okay, therefore it is positive. Now, what are the four data they have considered? They have considered about u. They have given it to you. Initial velocity they have given it to you. And then they have considered about acceleration. They have asked you the velocity, final velocity, it is considered, and they have considered about the displacement. So out of these four, just say which one is neglected. No, we know about five quantities: the displacement, acceleration, time taken, final velocity, initial velocity. Out of these five, which quantity is neglected? It is none other than the time taken is neglected. Okay, time taken is neglected, the other four are considered. Because they have asked this, so it is considered. So other four is considered and the time is neglected. So if you want to identify which equation is more important, which is suitable to here, you should find the same. So here the t neglected. Out of these four, which equation is neglected to t? That is none other than the third equation is neglected to t. Therefore, we have to use this equation to find the answer. How we select the equation? We have four equations. Out of four, what is the method to identify the equation? It is very simple. We know there are four factors, and consider which factor is neglected and match there. So even in the third equation, the t is not there, it's not present. So here the t is neglected, here t is absent. Therefore, this equation is more suitable to the specific question. So we need to take that equation, very simple. So it is b squared is equal to u squared plus 2as. So v squared, as you all know, v squared is the question. What is the u squared? Initial velocity is 0 squared plus 2, acceleration is 10, displacement is 20. So the answer is 20 in 20, 400 is v square. So what is the value of v? If you take root, it will be 20 meters second minus 1. Very simple. Right? So here we selected how we selected this. This is the most important thing. We have studied four equations. Out of these four, we need to select which one is suitable for a question. Whenever they give you a question, write the question first, understand the question first, draw it, and then mark which data they have given you. Finally, once they gave you what are the data they have given you, finally consider which one is neglected in that question and match it. So here they have given you four. They have talked about four things. They neglected the time, and you match which equation is neglected with time. If S is neglected, you should select the first one. If A is neglected, you should select the second one. If B is neglected, you should select the fourth one. Right, let's do some more examples. So this is an example. Okay, this is an example for the using of a third equation. Right, let's do another one. Well, in the second equation they have asked you, a ball is thrown vertically upward. A ball is thrown vertically upward with an inertial velocity of 30 meters second minus 1. So the question, so it's happening under gravity. Question, find the time taken to reach the maximum height. Find the time taken to reach the maximum height. So as you all know, when we throw a ball upward, due to the gravity, the ball decelerates, and at the top, the velocity becomes 0. The velocity becomes 0. Now, in this question, let's consider what are the data we know. So what are data we know? First, you can say they have given you the, so before that, consider the direction. The direction is, let's say, up portion is positive. The upper part is positive. Right. So what are the data they have given you? They have given you the initial velocity, that is plus 30 meters second minus 1. Why it is plus 30 meters second? Why it is in their considered direction. And what else they have given you? They have given you the final velocity. The final velocity is 0. The question is to find the time. The question is time taken. So time is the question. And finally, what is the acceleration? So it's happening under gravity. The acceleration is 10 meters second minus 2. But the same is how the acceleration should be plus or minus 10 meters second minus 2. It should be minus 10 meters second minus 2. It should be minus 10 meters second minus 2. Right. Now come to the question. They have given you 4 data. You have selected direction. Everything is done. Now, which factor is neglected? Out of 5, which factor is neglected? Displacement is neglected. So which equation is suitable? The first one is the suitable to find the answer. So here we need to use the first equation. So how the first equation is used to be? First equation, V is equal to U plus AT. So P is how much? V is 0 meters second minus 1. And U is how much? U is plus 30 plus acceleration is how much? Minus 10 into time taken. Right? So minus 10, 30 plus 30. If I make this minus 10 this side, minus 10t this side, it will be 10t is equal to 30 and t is equal to 3. So t, the answer will be 3 seconds. So how we did the question again. I drew the diagram, marked the direction, collected the data, searched which data is neglected, searched which one is neglected, selected the equation and came here, substituted and found the answer. This is how we used to find the answer for this question. Right? So let's think of another question. Let's go for another question. A car was moving at an initial velocity of 30 meters second minus 1. It's increased its velocity to 50 meters second minus 1 within 5 seconds. Find the displacement occurred during this acceleration time. So it's accelerated for 5 seconds from 30 to 50 meters second minus 1. The question what they have asked, what is the displacement? Now whenever you accelerate, there will be a moment. They ask you find the displacement, how much it happened. So the same type of questions are there in your book. So here again I have drawn the same thing. Just now let's consider what are the data they have given you. So this is the diagram, I have drawn it, and the direction is accelerate. So let's say the direction is this side positive, because now you can't put up and down here because the moving is happening right or left. So you should put the right side. So I am putting right side positive for me. So first one, the initial velocity is how much? Plus 30 meters second minus 1. Final velocity is plus 50 meters second minus 1. And the time taken is 5 seconds. So the displacement is the question. So what is the factor neglected? What they have neglected? They have neglected the acceleration. So out of these four, which equation is not with acceleration? The second one. The second one. So therefore, you should select the second one as the equation to find the answer. So you know that S is equal to V plus U divided by 2 into T. V plus U divided by 2 into T. So S is equal to, we all know that S is the equation. S is the value how much we need to find. We don't know the value of S. So V, the final velocity is 50, U 30 divided by 2. The time taken is 5 seconds. So the answer will be for 50 plus 30, 80 divided by 2, 40, 40 into 5, 200 meters. So it has taken 200 meters to make this process within 5 seconds. This is the answer. So how we wait for the question? First read the question, draw the diagram, consider a direction, collect the data what is given and check which factor is neglected and find the equation and solve it. So simple process. Let's try another equation. So another question. So the next question, there's a guy who left a ball from a building with height h. From building with height h. So we don't know the height. Okay, height h I have used an algebraic expression. Height h, and he left a ball. The statement says you left a ball. The difference between leaving a ball or leaving an object and throwing an object is very simple. Whenever you leave, the initial velocity will be 0. So this is leaving. The initial velocity is 0. But throwing is a bit different. This is throwing. I am giving an initial velocity. So initial velocity, if they say that leaving an object, the initial velocity will become 0. Not only that, whenever the object detaches from, for example, when a fruit detaches from a branch, the initial velocity is 0. Okay, but when you throw, you are supplying an initial velocity. So here, Here what he is doing, he is leaving the object. So the initial velocity is 0 meter second minus 1. And then they have asked you, and they have said you that the time taken to reach the bottom, it will fall down. The time taken to reach the bottom is 6 seconds. It has taken 6 seconds to fall down. Okay, so there he left the ball, and the time taken to reach the bottom is 6 seconds. Okay, the question is, what is the height of building? For example, if you consider about the Lotus Tower, Sri Lanka's tallest tower, how they measure the height of tallest tower. If I ask you how they measure the height of tower, do you think that these people will take a tape, the engineers will take a tape and climb on the tower and then they leave it? Do you think like that? What they are doing is, they are doing the same thing. Okay, so there are some additional science as well. However, they are doing the same thing. They go to the top. If anyone asks you to find the height of a building, what you should do is, don't try it, okay? What you do is go for the top of it and leave an object and measure the time taken that object reached the bottom level. So here he left the object and it reaches after 6 seconds. After leaving, it took 6 seconds. So here we need to find the height. Right. So here this is the diagram. This is the diagram. The first step is done, the diagram, and then consider direction. I am considering that downward is positive for me. Considering the direction. So we all know what is the initial velocity. Initial velocity is 0. Final velocity, they didn't bother about final velocity. The time taken is 6 seconds. The time taken is 6 seconds. But the acceleration is happening under gravity. Therefore, it is 10 meter second minus 2. And the height is the displacement. Height is the displacement. They have asked you the height. But they have asked you the height. So that is the displacement. Simple. They have asked you the height. So what factor is neglected here? The final velocity is neglected. So as final velocity is neglected, out of these two, which one is suitable? The S is equal to ut plus half at square is the suitable one. So what I will do is very simple. S is equal to ut plus half at square. So S is the question. We need to find the height. U 0 into time taken 6 plus half into the acceleration is plus 10. Why is plus 10? It is in our considered direction. So 10 meter second minus 2 into t square. What is the time? 6 square. So S is equal to, this 2 and 10 can be chopped. 5 into 6 square. So 36 into 5 is how much? 36 into 5 is how much? It is 180 meter. That is the height of this building. Okay, so what is the method I followed? Come on, the same thing. I found the, I first read the question, drew the diagram, considered direction, collected the data what is given here. Okay, what is given here, and selected the equation, went to the answer. Right? So these are the questions. Right. So very simple. Now I will take the same question what I gave you in the previous. When I asked you, I gave you a question like this. Can you remember? The building, I didn't solve one of it. Right. So the first question what I asked, third question what I was asked you to find the acceleration. So in that question, can you remember? Here the person was, he threw the ball upward with an initial velocity of 40 meter second minus 1, and the object moved up and reached the maximum height and returned back. So it was about 80 meter. Here it was, from here to here it was 100 meter. From here to here it was 100 meter, and there it was 80 meters. So the first question I asked you, sorry, in the third question I asked you to find the acceleration. If you consider only the third question, I asked you to find the acceleration. So you have to consider only this motion from here to there. To blow the ball thrown vertically up. If you consider this motion, get to know what are the data they have given you. So what are data they have given you? They have given you the initial velocity. So what is the initial velocity? Here you should mention the direction. It is mandatory. The upper portion is positive. Therefore, it was plus 40 meters second minus 1. It was plus 40 meters second minus 1. And the second one, you know the final velocity. The final velocity is 0 meter second minus 1. Final velocity is 0 meter second minus 1. And third, acceleration they have asked. I have given you the time taken as well. It is 4 seconds. Right? Also I have given you the displacement. It is 80 meter. So out of these 4, you should select an equation in these 4. By considering these data, you should select an equation which will give you the answer. So here, that specific equation should consider A, U, V, T. Okay? You should consider, because we need to find A. If there is no A, if you consider the second equation, there is no acceleration. There is no acceleration, no use of using this equation. Because there is no acceleration in the second one. We need to find the acceleration. Therefore, the equation should consist the acceleration. So, I can select other 3. Either this or this. Anything. It's not an issue. Because all of them consist A. All the data are there. So, I am using this equation, the first one. Because it is simple for us. So, here, V is equal to U plus AT. That V, the initial velocity V, the final velocity is 0. And what was the initial velocity? Plus 40 meters second minus 1. Plus the acceleration, we don't know, we need to find it. A into time taken was 4. The time taken was 4. So just say me how we can solve it. 4A plus 40 meters second minus 1 is 0. How it comes? 0 is equal to 40 meters second minus 1 plus 4A. So if you take this 4A this side, minus 4A is equal to 40 meters second minus 1. Therefore, the A will be acceleration. If you divide it, 40 divided by 4 minus 4, the answer will be minus 10 meters second minus 2. Right? This is the answer what we obtained to the previous question. So I have used this equation. Right. Now I am coming to the fourth equation which made you more and more confused. In that equation, so in that fourth equation, what I asked you was, I asked you to find the final velocity when it reached the bottom of building. Now, you have to consider only this motion. You have to consider only this motion. Okay? So, that means from bottom, top to bottom. The initial velocity is how much? 0. The acceleration, we all know that it was downward 10 meters second minus 2. And the final velocity will be somewhere here. And what else we know? We know the displacement of it. Because from here to here, if this is the building, here to here it is 80 meters and here to here it is 100 meters. But if you consider about the data given here, the data what they have given is the acceleration. Sorry, the initial velocity is given 0 meter second minus 1. Initial velocity is given the 0 meter second minus 1. They have given you the final velocity is the question. We need to find the final velocity. And we all know the acceleration is downward. Therefore, I have put minus 10 meter second minus 2. And the displacement, come on, the displacement is more important. When you consider about the displacement, our considered direction is upward but the displacement is downward. Therefore it should be minus 180 meters second minus 180 meter. The displacement should be minus 180 meter. So if you use the equation, v squared is equal to u squared plus 2as, right? So you all know the v square, that is the question, v square we need to find it. U squared is 0 plus 2. What is the acceleration? Minus 10. What is the displacement? Minus 180. What is the displacement? Minus 180 meters. 180 meters. Minus 180 meters. Now, if you go for answers, here it will be minus 20 into minus 180 is equal to v square. So that answer will be 3600. Right? 3600 minus and minus will become plus. So v square is 3600. V will be root 3600. That is 60 meters second minus 1. So these are the questions what comes under this unit without using the VT and ST graph. So in the upcoming lecture we will be studying about ST and VT graph, which is another method to do this question. So guys, the most saddest thing, the people with results this time, the results were out last week. So if you consider about their result, lots of people have obtained 8As, 8AB, 8AC, sometimes 8As and W. If you consider what is that subject, is none other than science. The reason the physics portion of science is bit harder, yes, it is true, because we are studying in physics, we always consider about the physical argument, and we always a logical thinking is needed to answer this question. Whenever you study these units smoothly and softer, it is not possible for you to fulfill them. That is why I am not giving you the much more, because I will give you questions hereafter which were from the past papers and from the government model papers. So I will give them. You need these equations, try them. Okay, try this equation and do them. I know it is hard. Okay, take your time. That's why I have made it a video and repeat the video how many times it is possible for you all. Take your own time. Follow the steps what I say. I have given you a methodology to do it. Follow the steps and be prepared for the exam, because according to my knowledge there is no science paper which was easy. Always science paper is not hard. It's actually it's maintaining its standard. The students are not going for that standard. That's why the people are saying the science is hard. It's not hard. It's definitely, according to me, the students are not paid standardized according to that paper. So therefore be prepared, and I will be teaching ST and VT in the upcoming lecture. Please study the linear graph unit. Linear graph lecture is given below. I need you all to get to know about the finding gradient, finding the covered area, and finding a coordinate, and increasing, decreasing gradient, everything. So therefore please be prepared. We will be studying about ST and VT in the upcoming lectures. I will be giving you some questions hereafter in this part actually. So all of them will be from the government model paper and past papers. So be prepared, and we will be discuss it properly, and we'll go to the next part. Don't fear about science. It's a portion of science. Be brave and fight for the paper. Okay, thank you.
Science Academy, the science provider of the nation.